Yellow Ribbon Community Art and Poetry Exhibition returns in 2021 to showcase a range of 79 artworks and 19 poems created by present and former inmate artists. Set to the title of A Garden of Possibilities, the exhibition is symbolic of inmates and ex-offenders' unwavering optimism in their personal transformation and reintegration journey. This year's collection showcases a range of artworks comprising painting, pottery, sculpture, as well as mixed media artworks. The artists have also drawn inspiration from the exhibition's theme to compose heartfelt pieces of poetry that have been incorporated into this edition's exhibition. Working under the guidance of nurturing art and poetry mentors, numerous works featured in this year's exhibition are representative of the artists' attempts to break out of their comfort zones to embrace art as a fruitful outlet of self-expression through other artworks underscored by experimentation with varied materials and employment of new techniques. The exhibition is recast as a budding growth of possibilities. The exhibition this year also features a selection of artworks from Canvas, founded in 2019 to support ex-offenders' continued artistic journey. The inclusion of these artworks also serve an important reminder that for such a garden to proliferate, society also plays an important role in creating fertile opportunities for growth. A Garden Within is the first of 3 sub-themes in this year's Yellow Ribbon Community Art and Poetry Exhibition. Artworks in this sub-theme are inspired by the artist's own personal journeys of rehabilitation and showcase the artist's introspections, highlighting the desire to move forward into the future and better themselves. This particular artwork here, titled Garden of Art, is actually a 3D floor plan of the prison's Visual Arts Hub. The Visual Arts Hub is where the male inmate artists make a wide range of artworks for the Yellow Ribbon Community Art Exhibition this year. In envisioning this particular place as this proverbial garden, the artist locates it as the source of his inspiration and the start of his art-making journey. With love and freedom, the artist is trying to express a multitude of ideas that he is ruminating on. Oftentimes, people find themselves trapped in a bubble and unable to share their own personal feelings. With this particular artwork, the artist tries to encourage everybody to break out beyond these boundaries that they have set for themselves and connect with other people. In Ripple Effect, the artist is trying to convey his own personal regrets in his mistaken ability to shoulder all of the consequences of his own selfish and personal decisions. However, in thinking about the time that he has spent within prison, so long as he spends this time rehabilitating himself, he feels that it is time that is not wasted after all. Desiring to innovate new textures in his painting, the artist actually reached out to a rather peculiar tool in the execution of this work which is behind me. It was, in fact, a toilet brush. In this work titled Darkness, the artist's use of the toilet brush managed to create an array of lovely textures that actually capture the way light shines upon it. Reflecting this light from different angles, the artist is trying to express the idea that even in darkness, we can still see glimmers of light. Even within the insulated environment of Changi Prison, inmate artists still experience the anxieties and stresses of the outside world. In It's a Jungle Out There, the artworks in this category correspond to the range of fears and stress factors that the inmates still experience. With Glass, the artist tries to put himself in the position of his parents who raised him. One does not oftentimes think of all of the trouble that a child would get into, but rather all of the potential they have. Glass is also an exceptionally special work included in this year's exhibition because it is the first digital print that is presented as an artwork within the Yellow Ribbon Community Art and Poetry Exhibition. And as you can tell, this particular work also is featured alongside a poem that is penned by the artist himself. Even within the confines of prison, artists still think about the range of issues that is still afflicting the world today. With this particular work, titled Gaia's Predicament, the abstract painting shares a range and tones of colours that seem to be suggestive of the melting of the ice caps as well as the problem of global warming that we are faced with. Of course, the weight of the pandemic weighs heavily on the minds of inmate artists too. With this particular work, the artist has painted an ode to all of our frontline healthcare workers who are bravely fighting the after effects of the pandemic in Singapore. Titling the work Undivided Complementary Strength, the artist also thinks about his own incarceration and the troubles that he has created, in contrast to the healthcare workers who are bravely fighting on the front lines. After hearing of her daughter's struggles with e-learning brought about by the pandemic, the artist created this particular painting to inspire her daughter to persevere through these difficult circumstances. The artist imagines an allegorical window as a light of truth and knowledge that will allow her daughters to overcome obstacles in the future. In spite of their past wrongdoings and personal shortcomings, inmate artists remain optimistic about their rehabilitation and reintegration. In Hope Springs Eternal, the range of artworks encapsulate the transformational powers of art. Freedom is My Choice is a multidisciplinary artwork incorporating elements of painting, poetry, as well as sculpture into the complete artwork. Freedom, of course, is the quality that inmates desire the most. Contemplating on this topic of freedom, Lai Sing finds that freedom is not something that can be easily attained, but is something within his power to control. Team Spirit is actually a collaborative artwork between 4 women artists working in the Art Behind Bars program. Having never ever made artwork before, this particular piece really showcases them trying to complement each other's strengths and weaknesses so as to realize a painting. The painting also stands as a reminder of their time spent together and their rehabilitation journey. It Too Shall Pass is actually an artwork contributed by a canvas artist. With this particular work, the artist is thinking about the light at the end of the tunnel, quite evident in this aspect of painting, thinking that we will always manage to persevere through hard times. This painting stands as a source of encouragement for himself and the people around him as well. Homage to Nature revolves around the artist's belief that nature is the greatest designer of all. With this particular ceramic work, the artist hopes to inspire a love for nature and encourage sustainable building practices. Thank you for joining me for today's Curator Tour. For more information on the exhibition or how to adopt one of the numerous artworks, please check out our website listed below.